Well, they face the punishment is the same as it reads in the criminal code. Depending on the offense, the criminal code very clearly dictates whether something is a summary conviction offense, an indictable offense, and different indictable offenses, they're more serious. They would carry different sentences up to a maximum of, minimum of. I know in the sort of the summary conviction offenses are punishable by imprisonment up to 6 months, or a fine of I believe it's $5,000 up to, or both. Indictable offenses can range, so it can be up to imprisonment for life for the most serious offenses. So it really kind of varies. The idea of the Youth Criminal Justice Act, however, when you're dealing with the youth, is that the general direction of where the criminal justice system wants to go with the youth is they focus on, first and foremost, the rehabilitation of the youth. They recognize that a young person is, there are young people at risk out there, and so the general spirit of which its due process was created, it focuses more on the rehabilitation of this person, of this young person, so that as they become an adult, hopefully they're not committing these crimes anymore. So there tends to be a theme, I guess you could say, of rehabilitation there, where, and so usually the criminal justice system, right from the police to the courts, they're making more of an effort to really explore and try out methods that would bring youth around and rehabilitate them without incarceration. Right. It's clearly set out in the Youth Criminal Justice Act.
We have, or used to have, I don't know if we still do, maybe restorative justice, that's that type of thing, right?
That's right. You can have a community restorative justice group. That is one way about going about it.
Do we have one in Kaslo?
We do have one in Kaslo. Yeah, there is a restorative group here. There are tons of other methods. There also may be an actual, what they call a conditional discharge from the courts, so that the court actually does hear the issue. And then they say, okay, well, we want you to do the following things and abide by the following conditions and be it. And if you do that, we're willing, to not proceed or not give you a criminal record on that. So and then of course there's criminal, courts hear criminal issues in youth court, and they convict youth of criminal offenses. And, some offenses are taken more seriously than others. Theft from vehicle is not the same as break and enter. These are things that courts they don't view breaking into someone's premises and stealing and breaking out of there. That carries with it a more serious punishable crime and things like that. So there are differences between the two, for sure. Okay. And on the topic of vandalism, I just wanted to say we're pushing out more community interest in the COPs, the Citizens on Patrol group. What we're doing is we're just looking at increasing the number of volunteers. So we're asking different members of the community if you're willing to volunteer and be part of our Citizens on Patrol. Usually what that entails is you're out on your time with volunteering in the community, driving around, looking for suspicious activity to report to the police. And so certainly that it proves its worth in numbers. I mean, you get volunteers out in the community and just more eyes, and certainly in the summer with the issue of vandalism. So if you're interested in becoming a Citizens on Patrol and you want more information on that, but there is a meeting today, but I don't imagine by the time people watch this that it'll be today. But please do call our office. It's not too late. We'll get you onto the program. We'll refer you to the right people and give you a little bit more information. So if you're interested, just call our office line there.
One last thing on that, the Citizens on Patrol. But say if you don't want to really be a part of a group, a formal group or anything, right? It still doesn't stop you if you're seeing suspicious activity to call in.
Absolutely. Citizens are our number one crime solvers. They really are. You have to be, we rely on them. We rely on their information. We rely on the knowledge. Kaslo is also a very small place, and everyone here knows everyone, to a certain degree. So this is great. And so we rely on the citizens to call us and provide us with information. In many instances, I found since I've been here is you'll get talking with people, and just generally, and they'll say, "Oh, geez, the other day I saw a couple of youth there down, or a couple of people on Main Street, and they were doing this and, you know, committing an offense. And so the message is, if you see something and you see someone committing a criminal offense, you call the police. You need to call the police then, at that moment, because it's with that information and that report that we would respond. So, and, you know, I'd like to see vandalism come down in this community. This per capita, you know, in the summertime, vandalism goes up here. It's an issue. And there's no reason why it can't come down. So if we're all vigilant and we all work together, we can bring that statistic down. I do believe that. So, and then just sort of last but not least, I talked a little bit about seatbelts last time, Paul, and I had identified that seatbelts and getting people to buckle up and enforcing those who didn't was going to be sort of a strategic priority. It was a priority for our detachment. So we just recently done a compliance survey at different locations in Kaslo, just to find out, not to enforce anything, but to find out the compliance rate of the village of Kaslo. So we also did those compliance rates in New Denver, the Cusp, Salmo, and between here and Nelson, in the Nelson rural type of area. And we took the cake. We had a compliance rate of 92% here in the community, which is really good. The general message that I had wanted to send out to the people of Kaslo is make it very difficult for us to enforce no seatbelt laws. The reason that we enforce seatbelt laws, again, the higher the compliance rate in a community, the lower the number of fatalities are by motor vehicle accident. There's the facts. There's a direct line from one to the other. So having a compliance rate at 92% is great. Keep up the good work. Buckle up. Even if you're going from Front Street over to the Mohawk, buckle up. It's a $167 fine, and we don't want to fine people. We'd just much rather just see everyone's buckle up. So it's more of a congratulations, 92% compliance. You were first out of any of the other villages and towns in the area, but there's still 8%. So keep going. So yeah, but that was actually really quite good to see.
Super. Okay.
And that's everything that I have.
That's great. Thanks very much, Chris. And then we'll catch up with you next month.
Sure.
Okay.
Excellent. Thanks, Carl.